Good evening, viewers. I take this opportunity to welcome you once again to our daily conference program. Well, since this is in continuation of our first topic, that is creation of e-resources, I would like to start with a question by asking to a resource person. Sarah, could you kindly explain what are the preliminary stages of e-resources?
Like as I mentioned in my part 1, the first important part in creation of a e-resource is that one has to visualize the topic, that what is the topic that you want to put into e-resource creation, and that too if you are finally thinking into a multimedia format, into a video format, then one has to visualize that what is the topic is and what are its different facets are, and what will be the text part into it, and what will be the image part, what will be the video part into it, and how the final integration will be, and what is the level of whether you want to create for a graduate level or a postgraduate or for a researcher. So according to it, the type of material also, the type of text that you want to give, that has to keep in mind while creating.
Well, another question is, how the multimedia can be added in e-resources?
Multimedia, the term multimedia that we are taking into, it starts with the simple image into your text, and it can be the image, or it can be the video, or it can be the some hyperlink that you want to give to your running text. So for adding a multimedia, one can start in a Word document also. Word has a very powerful facilities that you can add all these options into it, and even let me show you here that if you want to do things in the Word area, let me see if you have a Word here. Okay, I'm not getting it here. There is a word here, let's say. Now here they have given an options that you want to add an image. So you can add an image from the Acrobat document, or you can add an image. You can give the various options here, that what is the from this document, or from or there can be an option, because I am using here the WordPad. If you are using a MS Office here, it has a lot of facilities where you can add directly the hyperlink, the image, even a tabular graphics. So that is a very simplest form of a multimedia document. And PPT has a lot of facilities that all of us, we are using PPT in the teaching programs. This is the simple way of, but if you are thinking of creating a real multimedia e-resource, then you have to do text separately, you have to do image separately, you have to do video separately, and all these three together, you have to integrate. And integration also involves that what is the software that you want to use for the integration. Like Macromedia Flash can be a one software. It has a very powerful version, latest versions are there. You can integrate all these things together. So this can be a one simple, I believe, because India is in a transition phase. In India, it's not only that you should give a multimedia things to your users, there must be a supported backup of a print. Let us say the IGNOU material. Now the IGNOU material is in a print form, as well as you are giving the same sort of a topic or a different topics for a support in the form of a teleconferencing, and you have audio also along with it. So India need all from the research community or from the teacher side productions in the two format, electronic format, multimedia format, as well as the print format also.
Another question is how e-resources can be more useful than the traditional resources?
One is that e-resources, they are dynamic. Being a dynamic, they are more interactive. Let's say when you are searching through index in the print area, you are going to the index, you are looking alphabet, then the word, and then you are getting a page number and coming to the page number in the text book. In the multimedia, you just type your term, it's fast, and you will get directly onto the page and your term will be there. Whether you want to move into the text or you want to move into the glossary, so there are various options are given there in the interactive multimedia resources.
Okay.
Or whether you want to have an image on that particular word, whether you want to have a video on that particular word. So multimedia is more interactive type of a things, interactive within self. It's not that interactions from the different peoples are there. No, it is interactive within the sources. That way it is more dynamic.
Okay. So you mean to say like the students can benefit more from the, like the multimedia resources?
Yes, the other options that I have mentioned in the multimedia is like in the print. What we are doing in a print is if you want to have a particular pages or a paragraph, you are going to a photocopier and getting those pages Xerox or for paragraph Xerox, and then using those photocopied page preparing your final notes. Whereas in the dynamic multimedia, you can select some of the text, some of the images and put into your Word document, and even you can add your comments also. So it is more fast, more interactive.
That's true. Well, like you have shown a videography of your V-book, which to me I find very impressive. That is on the European libraries. Well, my question is, have you done a similar kind of work in the context of Indian libraries?
Yes, after completing my project on European libraries, I started working on the Indian libraries. As I said, that you have to really visualize that the whole concept on which you want to work. So I thought if my area is library and information science, so I divided my concept into three broader categories. One is the universities and libraries in India, and second is the professionals, the experts in the field of library and information science, and the third one is the school of library and information science in India, giving education at a bachelor degree or a master degree. So these are the three areas I thought of working. And when I was thinking of a professionals, there is a elite group is there. You will be happy to know that we have a 5 Padam Shri in library and information science. Okay. So I have directly created. I'll show you. There is a you will find here, you see this is what I was working, and these are Padam Shris in library and information science, Dr. S.R. Padam Shris in library and information, Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, Shri B.S. Keshwan, Shri Yanki Venkata. So this is an auto run program because this was the title, and Professor Kola, he is the present one. He received, Keshwan is the second, and Venkatarao and Bashiruddin, Professor S. Bashiruddin, and Professor Kola. And this is one I thought of giving the informations to our users. And the other one is the universities and the professionals. I'll show you that everybody, in library and information science, all the students, they are reading a book of written by Professor Kishan Kumar. He has written a lot of textbook in our field. So I thought of let us interact with Professor Kishan Kumar and find out that how he is writing so many books, what is the methodology and his expertise. So I have given options here. You can just see. This clip is basically the. You will find here I have taken Kishan Kumar ji here, and here because this machine is not having the video facilities. So Kishan Kumar, his views. See, Kishan Kumar ji has retired. and people don't know who was this. Like Gandhiji's, we have a black and white pictures of Gandhiji. So you can see here on the screen the pictures of Krishna Kumarji. Is coming up. So you can see Professor Krishna Kumarji. This he is a very well-known writer in our field. So I am not a very professional photographer, so you will find so many jerks and so many things here. But if we'll make a team of these professionals, and really we can produce a lot of good documents. And the other important things on which I am working is the universities. You will find the Gujarat Vidyapeeth, where Gandhiji, they follow the Gandhi tradition. There in the library, all the staff members, they sit on a ground floor on pillows, and that's the way they are working. Now you will see here. Let me see if it comes. So that's sort of a concept of that how the Gujarat Vidyapeeth has a speciality that they follow the Gandhian style. And if you will see, the most ancient university is the Nalanda.
Okay.
So I thought of capturing the Nalanda also, especially because we belong to library and information science, so we have seen where was the library. So we came to know it was storage libraries, and later on it was burned by the people, and it burned for 6 months. So there was a history. Okay. And there was a very interesting part in the Nalanda is they in the lecturing they are using an ecosystem, like Golconda Fort. They use an ecosystem. The similar ecosystem was used for giving a lecture, so that the student can hear it at a corner sitting there.
Okay.
So and if you will go to the NIFT libraries, now the NIFT libraries, they have these specialties. Their resources are less of documents, less of media material. Their resources is a lot of fashion related things, fashion jewelries, fabrics, costumes, even accessories. So all they are the part of the library system. So one has to know that how these are arranged, how you can classify a button, how you can classify a bangle. So this is very, very important for library and information science students. We can write in the textual form, but creating all these things into a multimedia format. So I was thinking that how to create all these into a multimedia format. So I took a video shoot.
Okay.
And then I wrote a script about these, and then the script is integrated with the video shoot, and the images also there, as I have done for the vBook. So all these have been integrated into this area.
Okay. So how it is, then what is your experience in working in the context of Indian, in Indian context, to say?
I have an advantage, like I belong to the profession, and that to teacher. So wherever I am going, I am getting a very good response.
Okay.
The librarians, they are allowing me to interact with their staff and to expose their collection and their technical things to the reader also.
Okay.
So I am getting a very good response, and one by one I have done some 26 libraries.
Okay.
In the area of library and information center. And all these libraries are very specialized library. Let us say IIT. IIT is a library which is in the technology and engineering area. NIFT is a library which has a different types of resources. And if you will see the management, so IIM Ahmedabad, they have a very different types of management system, or Nirma University.
That's right.
They have special collections. So even when we are visiting these places, one can get an idea about what sort of a furniture one can use in the library, what sort of a shelving area. Now you will be surprised to know that there can be 5 or 6 type of information technology in the shelving area. It can be a simple traditional shelving, which can be the pull out shelves and push in shelves.
Okay.
And there can be a compact shelving where it can be rotated through manually,
Okay.
and there can be a compact shelving which can be a electronic shelving in compact, in the sense that you need not to put a wheel, you just put a push button, and electronically these two shelves will come out, and if you want to close, go into it, take your documents, and if you want to close them, push the button again and it will close down. So this is one way that when you are visiting places, you get an idea about what type of technology. So while visualizing a library, creating a e-resource, it's not only you get a one form of a technology, you get about furniture things, you get about compact shelving, the conveyor belt system.
That's right.
Now in the conveyor belt system also, in Delhi University library system, especially in the Ratan Tata library
That's right.
in Delhi University, we used to have a book lift type system. Now this book lift is just putting the books from the circulation desk from the ground floor and going to the first floor, second floor for the shelving. So we were using book lift just for transportation. Now the concept is changed. The conveyor belt system or the lift system can be used to supply the documents to the people. So this type of technology, if I am explaining a chapter to our students that how the conveyor belt system works, so in the conveyor belt system we can tell it's not only the book lift type of a system, this system can be used for providing the books at the circulation desk, providing the books at the reservation counter also. So if some books are available, it can be given to the circulation desk. So conveyor belt system in the form of a there can be, a baskets which has a different floor marking, and basket can move from one floor to another floor from your ground floor, and the basement will get a printer where all the requests are printed, and one can pick up the books from the basement and can give onto the shelves directly onto the basket or onto the belt. So there are various types, like the British Library, they are also using the conveyor belt system.
Okay. So like another question is for multiple production of V-book, how it is done? Could you kindly explain further?
Whenever we are thinking of a multimedia, a final product has come in the multimedia format, one has to give for a multiple production. For a book it is fine, it can go into a print of 1000, and for e-resources you have to have your master cut.
Okay.
The master cut, like now this video is going on, you can have your master cut either on a U-matic tape or a beta tape, or you can have it on a digital format also directly onto the disk, and from the disk you can, now the computer technology has directly come into, so you can have a master, and from this master, because whenever you are making a duplicate of it, whenever we are using a tape, so there is a generation loss is there. Whereas in a digital format, the generation loss is there, but it is to the extent of just a 5% or 2%. Like you will get almost 100% in the digital format. So there is a system of stamping they are using.
Okay.
So the whole of the disk is copied,
Okay.
and it is created into a various stamping system,
Okay.
creating a duplicates of it. So once this duplicate is done, I prefer that when you are going for a multiple things, once you get a duplicates of all your masters, then put it at one place and put the print also. As we said that in India we are in a transition phase. So in the transition phase, you should give your multimedia format as well as you should give your print format. They should be together.
Okay.
That's what I have done with my V-book. The video discs are there. You have seen in the libraries, the books are coming up, and they are coming up with the CDs, and they are coming up with the text also.
Okay. Well, like you have shown a very impressive videography on European libraries. My question is how it can be applied in other disciplines as well.
I have done for library and information science, and there are private organizations, private companies, they are also in this field, and especially they are in the field for giving a technical support. But the content part and the visualization part has to be done by the authors. This has to be done at the academic level. So in this, what we can do is that we can interact with the different academicians in different disciplines, and we can ask them that there is a technology is available for creating a e-resource into a multimedia format. You have the expertise and the topic on which they want to create a multimedia resources. The whole concept can be put into a e-resource view format. So one has to see, because they have a content, so you have to ask them what is your text is in this particular topic. What are the image you want to think you want. Let us say you are working on an environment.
That's right.
And if I am working on a forest environment, in the forest environment, we can think of the whole text on a different types of forest.
Yes.
Let us say there is a rainforest is there. There is a forest on mountains. There is a forest in the, let's say, desert vegetations, mountain vegetations, vegetations in the riverside. So all these, they are in the text format. So once you get a text in that particular discipline, I am giving one example of the environment, and that to the forest area. Then you can think of going really into the area and taking images of that. Now in that you can take an image of different types of forest. You can take a video also, and then there is a text ready, there is a video ready, and you can show those videos to the academicians and the expert and ask them that what do you want to say about this. So whatever they will explain on this area, that will be called the scripting of that video and attach with that. So this is the way we can help the other discipline also in creating a multimedia format.
Okay. Well, maybe another question, maybe for for the benefit of the students, maybe further clarification. Could you kindly explain how e-resources can be more useful to the students?
As I have mentioned, like in e-resources, there is a more interactivity is there. The more dynamism is there, dynamics is there. That you can select, you can search, and you can prepare your notes. You can prepare your research area also in that format. So it is very much interactive than the print one.
Okay.
Because in the print it is just simply reading and photocopying, whereas in the electronic e-resources, they can be searched and they can be copied and they can be pasted into the document also. Not only the text part, the image part also, and the video part also, and they can add their comment also into the documents.
That's right. But I think it is more applicable, in the, among the students who are, like having the facility. But speaking in the context of people, residing in a rural area, I think, it will be.
No, you are right, because that is the reason I said that I am holding the view that we are in a transition phase. So whenever you are bringing out such type of a multimedia resources, you have to bring out the print. Now in the print, you can give exactly the same text.
The same text.
And along with the text, you can put all those images which is there in the multimedia, you can put in the text also all those images. So at least those in the rural area, if they don't have a facilities for using a multimedia on the computer, at least they can have a facilities of using the print, where the image portion is there.
Yeah.
So that way it will be very useful even for the rural people where this facility is not there. I am of the view, like even if computer is, let's say, not there, even if you have a single, let us say, the internet connectivity, so it's not necessary that all the resources they have to be physically available to them. You can make use of putting these resources on the internet, you can have the institution server, and in the institution server all these resources can be put at one place, and from there it can be integrated. You know what is happening, the important concept in this is that when all these resources, now this is the new concept of coming up when we talk of a multimedia resource sharing. Now in the multimedia resource sharing, when we take off, whenever we are thinking of getting access at points where no IT lab is there, let us say only a single one internet is available. Now we want to share all these different databases where multimedia resources are there. This is what is happening. If we think of meta searches, you know, in a multimedia, the next important point is when you are putting how the online searches can be done on this e-resources. So whenever we are thinking of putting online searches, you know, on these e-resources, then one concept which is coming up is the meta searches. The search engines that we are having, like Google is one search engine, Yahoo is one search engine, but they are doing a meta searches. Now when we are going for other searches, which is basically meant for structured information. Now if you will take in your software authoring all these different portion of image labeling or video labeling or text indexing as integrated component, then it is unstructured. Then it is unstructured. Now when you will index them, all the images, all the videos, all the text part, when you will index them using a proper indexing technique. Now these indexing techniques can be at a two level. One is that when you are indexing them, all these multimedia resources, when you are indexing them, in the index you are just picking up the term like a keyword, or you are giving the context to it also, right? So when you give a context to it, you are trying to index all these multimedia e-resources into a structured format. So all these structured format, when it is a structured format, then the searches on online platform is different. We are getting nowadays electronic journals. So in the electronic journals, they have a search facilities at a different levels. Now in this, we are talking of a searches which is called a federated searches. Now federated searches are the searches. I am giving an example for a rural, you know. You have given me one questions like how the rural people will work. I am saying then in the e-resources we have to really think of putting more technology into it. It's not simply it is created and it is shown. It has to be indexed so that wherever there is only a single options, there is a single terminal is available, they can search. So on this online e-resources area, you should have a federated search. Now the advantage of federated search is it integrate, it's opaque. Now what happened in a library? In a library there is a single opaque is there. Now with this single opaque, you will be able to access the library database only, a single database only. So there is a single opaque is there. Now you think of a concept, this is a preliminary concept of first model of federated searches. You have a different databases, each database has its opaque, right? And there is a library database, then there is a single opaque. Now you think of a single opaque. Through this command, it is searching all these different databases, including library database and different online databases through single opaque, and the results are displayed in a single opaque. So single opaque search for different databases, and output is also placed into a single opaque where the output is coming. So this sort of a technique is called a federated techniques. Now this federated techniques or federated search is already started. The bunch of or the aggregation of online journals, they are making use of this federated search, and now these private companies, the vendors, for each group of databases, they have their own federated search engine, and they are giving its a commercial name.
Okay.
There is a software called a Liberty. Now this Liberty software is a library software, and it is a web-based software. And in the Liberty there is an options given for a federated search. Now the whole federated search engine, it is developed, and it is with the name called a Quest.
Yeah.
Similarly, there is other company, EBSCO is there.
EBSCO is there.
They have given, and the other people they have given as a power search. So it is federated search is also called a power search. It is also called a combined searches, aggregated searches, because all these searches they are together, aggregated searches, or like we have a federal government, everything is there. So federated searches. So that's the nomenclature of the term. Otherwise the concept is like this: the single OPAC is going to a different databases and it is searching on this. In the Quest, which is a commercial federated search engine, in the Quest they have given, you are searching your library database, and they have given options whether you want to search a database of IEEE, you want to search a database of Emerald, you want to search a database of EBSCO. So you can go on giving a tick mark in the boxes, and it will, your search term will run on all these databases. So this is through the Quest in the Liberty software, which is by SoftLink. You can go for searching the multimedia resources. You know, federated search will allow you for multimedia resources also. They are using a different types of a protocol. You know, to interact with the library databases, there is a Z39.50 protocol, which is used by these federated search engines also, which is basically for structured information, you know, in a bibliographic databases.
Could you kindly tell us something? You have just mentioned Z39 that I think just mentioned. What is?
No, here in this Z39, this is a protocol which is used. It should be at a client side, it should be at a server side.
Both ways.
Right. And if your software is a Z39 compliant, then you can make searches on internet and search the database. Like there is all library software now they are Z39 compliant. In the sense that if you want your database to be searched online, you know, like internet, they use different protocols for searching and transferring data, right? And if you have a DBase or SQL on your system and searching on a LAN or a standalone, then you can search directly. But if you want to search through internet, then you need a protocol. So there is a internet protocol is there, and it comes HTTP, so it comes. But if you want to search a bibliographic database, right, then you need a Z39 protocol. So this is a Z39 protocol which is developed by the US people. They are monitoring this Z39.
Well, since you are extensively, you know, like visiting different institutions, you know, like lecturing, delivering different kind of on different issues on library information science, I just want to ask you a question. What is your observation about the usage of e-resources among the students? Are they, I mean, extensively using it, or, you know, like they are, you know, like not making the best use of the available, you know, e-resources?
You know, it varies from place to place. If we talk of metro cities, and that too from institutions to institutions, you know, in Delhi, if we'll talk of some college, or if you talk of Delhi University or a JNU or a Jamia, now they have lots of facilities, and they have to make the use of e-resources. You know, first of all, you should have the e-resources in the electronic format, right, related to your academic interest. And lots of internationally things have been developed. You have all those international things here. or second is that whatever is you are developing, that should also come up into the electronic format and put into your network. In Delhi, students, they have already started making use of
Especially in
e-resources.
context of University of Delhi, where you come from.
Yes, let's say in my field, library and information science, our students, they are heavily using the internet facilities. First of all, what they do is any topic you give it to them, they'll go to the internet, they will open a Google and they will type the term and they'll get the material. Go to the Wikipedia, you'll get everything there. That is the first step they do, and they get a basic idea from there. Now, as far as whatever teacher has explained in the class, the different facets of the topic, if they get on internet everything fine, otherwise they go to the library, there are books are there, and they take things from the books also. Then they prepare finally the notes. They are not directly or complete notes they are preparing from internet, no. They are taking help of the internet and they are using it. In Delhi University now, the students are heavily using this internet. Within the library also, departments, they have the internet facilities. Even these facilities we are extending to colleges also. Okay. So in the colleges also, the various departments in the college and the library, they are making use of the library resources, electronic resources, and they are searching it.
Okay.
Especially the research students,
Okay.
they are using much. The MPhil and PhD students, teachers,
That's right.
postgraduate students also, because they are the part of the Delhi University library system, they can make use of. But as far as graduates are concerned, they are not coming to the central university, but they are making use of their library. So in their library also, they have been given a connections of the Delhi University's campus network area.
Okay.
So the colleges are also making use of the library resources.
Okay. And speaking in context of the VBook which you have mentioned, well, like what are the comments you have received, for improvising it, or like any kind of suggestions or opinions people have given on the VBook?
I thought of giving it a name as a VBook.
Okay.
And I thought of it as a video book.
Okay.
It's not a, people were thinking virtual book.
Okay.
No, it's not a virtual book. It is I named it as a video book because there is the whole concept of explanation I have used, making lots of video into it. So I think V stands for video book in my case.
Yeah,
that is my personal preference. So I use VBook, and people are making use of it.
Okay.
Because the library science, so far what we are teaching is through the books.
Okay.
And if you teach library science using a multimedia format, I feel always the orientation, the students, they can prepare. The very interesting idea is, first I mentioned about the topic, the library layout, the use of library. The second can be the online journals, how to make use of online journal. The third concept can be the various concepts into it.
Okay.
The technology for our students, let us say.
Okay.
So they can make use of this video type of things.
Okay.
In learning, orientation. Now orientation is an area, whenever a graduate or a postgraduate students are coming to the library, the day one, when they are coming in day one, they have to be given an orientation about the library. Now this orientation about the library is, you have to tell everything in the beginning, that what is your library is, what is its policy for making a membership, and what is your rules for loan, and what is the rule for accessing the e-resources, what is the facilities you have given. All this orientation which we used to give in the brochure form. We used to have a brochure where library timings, library collections, these things was there in the orientation. Now this brochure has to be converted into an electronic format. Now you have to give whole orientations into the video format. So as the students are coming and they are becoming a member, you can give them a one disc and can say, this is the orientation about our library. Okay. So the student can go along with the membership card, a disc about the library also, and they can see what is this library is, what is in this corner, left side, right side, first floor, second floor, and how, which side is which collections, which subject is there, what are the OPAC system facilities, what is the other online facilities are available. So everything you have to make into a video format. It will be simply like a virtual tour of the library, and the student will get a better idea about your library, about management. And this is also very useful for our students also. Let us say for bachelor and master degree, I have seen when the students are coming up, they are from a different streams. Some students are a chemistry honors, some are physics honors, and when they come for 1 month, they think, what is this library sciences? They used to work in a chemistry lab doing chemistry practicals, biological dissections, and now it's books suddenly. And same thing happened with the, let us say, the BA Sanskrit or MS Sanskrit or a Hindi or a political or economic science students, when they come, or a commerce, they say they used to do all this accounting, all these languages, now library science. For them it is better to tell through the e-resource format, that this is what the subject is, this is what we will learn more about the various portion of the library. It is a reference collection, it is a textbook collection, it is a serial collection, it is a monograph collection, this is a research collection, this is, each one has a characteristics. So one has to go on explaining about them, that how this total library functions, its orientation in the beginning through a single intro CD of the profession or of the library. So making application of e-resources in library and information science field is highly recommended and very, very useful. This is one. As and when the teaching and learning process of library progress, because ours is a professional course. Besides reading the textual material, we have very much live library. There is a physical entity there. We have to tell them that what this entity consists of, and what is inside this entity is, we have to go directly into the depth of these resources, and all this has to be done through multimedia. Now there is a concept coming up that the library is slowly, physical format is getting squeezed, you know. We are into a digital format. Digital area we are coming. I believe even if we are coming into a digital format, all these digital format need to be explained. So when you are explaining the digital format, all the intricacies, all the detailings, that has to be presented into a video format. People would like to learn through, you know, video screens as and when they have a time. Another important thing is that when you have things into electronic format, as and when you have a time, you can learn. See, the distance courses, especially the IGNOU courses, you know, you have slotted this program in the evening, keeping you the time frame. It used to come in the afternoon also. You know, so depending upon the time frame, if you have things in a multimedia format, so depending upon the time frame, they can put into their computers, they can see as and when they have time, and they can learn.
That's right. Thank you very much, sir, for your comprehensive explanation on creation of e-resources. We look forward to have you even in the days to come. And maybe in a coming program we can have an extensive discussion on this creation of online resources. Well, with this we come to the end of our daily conference program, and that's all for tonight. Good night.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Today we shall be discussing two aspects of social work. One, the origin and growth of the concept of social work. And in part 2, we shall be discussing about the origin and growth of social work education. Now, when we are studying as students of bachelor degree in social work, we need to be fully aware of the roots of the origin of this profession. Now, for any person in the street, social work would mean charity. But when you go through the training and education in social work, you will find that social work is much more than charity. Definitely, the origin of the concept of social work emerged voluntarily across the globe in various continents, in various nations. There is contribution from individuals, religious organizations, and other like-minded organizations or agencies who have helped in evolving the idea of this profession. We say charity begins at home. When people are faced with the problems, the immediate people who come around to help those in need are the family and the immediate neighbors. And social work by and large begins with the family, then to immediate neighborhood, to the community,